Alrighty, YouTube, here we go. First and foremost, I am Intergalactic Brew, but you already knew that. Right. So y'all already know what it is, man. I done already told y'all ahead of time. So if you don't know, now you know, or you should have known. I'm here to give you the NFC side of the wild card playoff matchups coming up tomorrow. Can't believe playoff season is finally here. I'm so charged, pumped, jacked, rowdy, whatever you want to call it. Excitement is in the air, y'all. And it's only 24 hours away. But I think these two matchups here for the NFC is the matchups that I think everybody's going to really have their eyes peeled on. And it's some real good matchups across the board with these two teams. I mean, you got the Seahawks and the Redskins, you got the Packers and the Vikings. I mean, you know, these two playoff games I think are perfect matchups. Perfect matchups for this wild card portion of the playoffs. Perfect matchups. I don't think like the matchups couldn't have came any better than these two. So without any further ado, let's break it on down. Okay, first game I want to talk about is the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now we all know that the Vikings will be traveling to the world famous Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You know, the Packers in this game, they're going to be looking for a little redemption because, you know, last year, you know, things didn't turn out for them so well at home. You know, they got all of their Super Bowl repeat plans ruined by a team named the New York Giants. So, yeah, the Packers expect them to come out with a purpose and with a hunger this year to want to erase that tough loss that they suffered to the Giants. But Minnesota, you know, I think a lot of people from Minnesota, I think people are kind of, you know, underestimating them. Well, not kind of. People are underestimating them. Besides, you know, the beautiful career year that Adrian Peterson has had. But I think people are kind of underestimating the Minnesota Vikings. And I think that's a dangerous thing to do because the Vikings have shown throughout most of this season that they are capable of beating some of the best in the league and even the best in the conference. I mean, look what they did to the San Francisco 49ers. Who saw that coming? You know what I'm saying? You know, even look what they did to the Houston Texans. Who saw that coming? You know what I mean? Like, even with the Green Bay Packers previously, this last week of the regular season, who saw that coming? You know, I think before and I promise after this I'm gonna break down like the game itself. But I just want to say we are living in a time with football where I think we're letting too much of our perception be our reality. And I think we just need to look at reality instead of just putting, you know, one thing with the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that Minnesota may not have all the weapons offensively that Green Bay has. I know they may not be as highly ranked as maybe a Green Bay defense is, and they may not have a Super Bowl. But I guarantee you, the way this team is playing, like they have a chance. They have a chance. You know, I mean, look at it. Look back 4 years ago when Brett Favre was in Minnesota. You know, had not Brett Favre tried to be the hero that he always tried to be late in games and would have just handed the ball off to Adrian Peterson and let Adrian Peterson run the ball the rest of the game, run the clock out, get him in field goal range, kick a field goal, we would be talking about the Minnesota Vikings having the Super Bowl right now. But I mean, it was just, it was just bad fortune for them. But maybe this time they could turn it around. I mean, who knows? But we have to understand, Minnesota is a fairly young team, even though they have some veteran players combined in there. So just keep that in mind. Okay, enough about the razzle-dazzle. Let's get down to the game. Okay, I'm going to start off with Minnesota defensively. Minnesota defensively is pretty much got to do similar to what they did in the previous game. Stop Aaron Rodgers, limit his opportunities. Do not let him stand back there in the pocket and drill you with those sniper-like passes that he likes to throw to his receivers. Period. Like, limit Aaron Rodgers' opportunities. If I was the Minnesota defense, if you ask me, I would probably want Aaron Rodgers to beat me in the run game. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers take the ball himself, roll out of the pocket, and let him make plays himself running the ball. Because throwing the ball, I don't want that. Because Aaron Rodgers is just going to have dart practice with you, pretty much. I mean, because he's one of the most lethal passing quarterbacks in the NFL. We all know that. And the Minnesota secondary knows that. So if I had to pick which way I would want Aaron Rodgers to beat me, I would say in the running game. And I would actually have him try to beat me running the ball himself. Because as we saw in the previous game this past weekend, that when Aaron Rodgers rolled out of the pocket and took the ball himself and tried to make plays himself, Minnesota was able to stop him. And therefore they were able to stop most of the team. Because let's face it, Aaron Rodgers, he runs that offense. That offense goes through Aaron Rodgers. It's either Aaron Rodgers or bust for that Green Bay offense. I mean, let's just be real. If Aaron Rodgers is not throwing for over 300 yards, Green Bay is in deep doo-doo. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, taking nothing away from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is an awesome quarterback. He'll eventually be a Hall of Famer down the line. But that's how you stop Green Bay's offense. You stop Aaron Rodgers. Because we know they don't have a run game. At least not, an effective run game. I'll say they can run the ball, but it's not effective. So, I mean, yeah. But that's what that's what the Minnesota defense needs to do. They need to, push, collapse the pocket, get that pressure from up the middle. They need to get pressure from the edge. I mean, they already know the drill. I mean, but basically, don't keep Aaron Rodgers. Try to get Aaron Rodgers out of the pocket. Get Aaron Rodgers moving around and running and trying to make plays on the run. If you can do that, you've got a pretty good chance. Now, as far as the Minnesota offense is concerned, this will be more of a tougher challenge. Because we know that Christian Ponder really doesn't have too many offensive targets to work with. I mean, sure, he's got Michael Jenkins. He's got Jerome Simpson. What's the rookie's name? Jarius Wright. Jairus Wright. I hope I'm saying his name. I think it's Jarius Wright. He's come on this season. He kind of struggled maybe the first couple of weeks, but I think he's really started to come on in throughout the past few months. So that's another target he can go to. And then of course, he's got the three big tight ends. Rhett Ellison, Carlson, and of course Kyle Rudolph. But I think more so he'll look to use Carlson and Rudolph in the pass as opposed to somebody like Ellison. I think Ellison is more of a blocking tight end, but I mean he can catch the ball too, as we've seen in the previous game. But yeah, other than that, you know, they're gonna really have to lean on Adrian Peterson to win them this game. I think the key to Minnesota's success on offense is running the ball. I mean, Green Bay wasn't able to stop it in Green Bay. They weren't able to stop it in Minnesota. So, hey, do what, you know, go with what brought you here. You know, run the ball. You know, if you know, if you can get the ball out to your receivers, so be it. You know, I mean, and I'm not saying that Minnesota doesn't have a good receiving core. Their receiving core is solid. I mean, we all saw what happened in the first game, or the previous game, I should say, this past Sunday. You know, he was able to get the ball out to Jenkins and Simpson, and like I said, to Jarius Wright. And, you know, like I said, the tight ends made some plays. But Minnesota, they are not known as a passing team. They are known for running the ball. They are a running team, which is why they have a superstar in Adrian Peterson. That's their forte. They're known for running the ball, and that's what they're going to have to do with Green Bay. Because Christian Ponder, you know, I'm sorry, bro, but the way he's been playing, or the way he has played in certain games this season, I wouldn't trust him to win the game for me, throwing the ball. I just cannot trust him for some reason. I just can't. You know, that would be a scary sight for Vikings fans if it actually had to come down to Christian Ponder winning the game passing the ball, like strictly just passing. That cannot happen. He's got to get the ball in Adrian Peterson's hands, let him mow down that Green Bay D-line / secondary, and you know, just see what happens. I mean, not see what happens, but you know, try to manage the game, and you know, if you can make some you know, some throws that'll get you like some good yardage or get you in the field goal range, then by all means do it. But the Vikings must run the ball in this game. Must run the ball. Because I'm telling you, if the Green Bay defense, which they can, if that Green Bay defense shuts down Adrian Peterson, the Vikings are screwed offensively. They are screwed. I'm talking about put the nail in the middle of the field and get the jackhammer and just start drilling, because they are screwed big time. Run that ball. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm not Bill Musgrave. But I'm just saying, if they're smart, they'll run the ball. Period. Now, as far as Green Bay is concerned, I pretty much just talked about what Green Bay had to do, talking about the Minnesota offense. And that's basically, Green Bay has to stop the run, obviously. And on top of that, they got to make Minnesota one-dimensional. Pretty much. You know, don't allow Minnesota to be balanced. Make them beat you with one aspect of the game, and that's passing. And like I said just now, you know, Christian Ponder has struggled mightily when the game's been left up to him throwing the ball. I mean, yeah, he could tuck it and run, sure, but you know, you got Christian Ponder throwing the ball for you over 40 times to win the game. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to say. You know, if you're the Green Bay defense, stop the run, limit them to only one style of offense. Make them beat you with, basically make them beat you passing, pretty much. That's how I'm going to put it. I'm just going to be real. Stop the run and make Christian Ponder throw the ball 40 plus times.
Threat has been detected.
Pretty much. If you do that, you'll win. Or Green Bay will win, I should say. Oh yeah, and as far as Green Bay's offense, I forgot about that. As far as Green Bay offensively, the offensive line has got to give Aaron Rodgers time to get that ball out. Because last weekend in Minnesota, Aaron Rodgers was running for his life and fumbling the ball and getting his ass put on the turf. And if Green Bay expects to win another Super Bowl this year, that cannot happen again, especially at home. So, yeah. O-line, Jeff Saturday. Y'all boys, yeah. Y'all need to hunker down, as the country folks would say. But yeah. If they expect to win this game, like offensively, the offensive line, number one, has to protect Aaron Rodgers and give him time to throw the ball. Because there were too many breakdowns on the O-line last game. So if they can protect Aaron Rodgers and let Aaron Rodgers, do his thing in the passing game, it's going to be a good night for Green Bay. They're going to win this game. Because unlike Christian Ponder, you can trust Aaron Rodgers to win the game for you. Aaron Rodgers will throw for 300 plus yards and win the game for you. I've seen it. I mean, probably the best example of what Aaron Rodgers can do, I'll say two examples. Two examples of how lethal Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball. Go back and look at the Houston Texans game where the Packers went to Houston. That was just complete, technical assassination. For real. It almost looked like, Aaron Rodgers was at I don't even know if they have a throwing cage for quarterbacks. But if there was a throwing cage, Aaron Rodgers probably would have, broke the machine. Because, I mean, everything he threw was, infrared, laser, accurate. For real. He straight up sniped the Houston Texans secondary. Sniped them. And then I think another great passing performance by Rodgers was when they played the Saints. I think he straight up sniped the Saints secondary. I mean, which is not hard to do because they are one of the last ranked defenses in the NFL. But still, they're still capable. But Aaron Rodgers sniped them at home. So if Aaron Rodgers, if the run game's not working, I'm pretty sure they'll try to run the ball still. But I mean, if the run game isn't working for the Packers, I totally trust Aaron Rodgers to win this game, passing the ball. I mean, he has unlimited targets. I mean, you got Greg Jennings back. You got James Jones, who's started to put his stamp down in the offense. You still got Donald Driver if he's still playing with him. Then you got Jermichael Finley, the tight end. Who's another guy? If Randall Cobb is playing, you got Randall Cobb. I mean, they're just so deep. You know what I'm saying? They're so deep. And I don't know if I said Jordy Nelson already. I may have said Jordy Nelson. But still, Jordy Nelson. You know what I'm saying? It's just unlimited. It's unlimited possibilities for Aaron Rodgers to get the ball downfield and score. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why it's important that the Minnesota defense, get to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, yeah, you want to stop the run too, but like I said, that offense goes as far as Aaron Rodgers will take them. So if you are able to make Aaron Rodgers feel uncomfortable and take him out of the game completely, you will win, or they will win. Minnesota will win this game if they take out Aaron Rodgers early in the game. And like I said, you got to make him get out of that pocket, because if he can stand in that pocket and have the right amount of time, he will snipe you. He will snipe you. There is no question about it. Aaron Rodgers is merciless when it comes to passing the ball. He does not care. There is no warm blood in his body. It's all cold. All cold. And what makes it even worse is y'all going to be playing in the cold. So that's what's going to make it even worse. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's why it's important. Minnesota needs to get to Aaron Rodgers, keep him out of the pocket, and make him beat you either with his legs or, make him throw on the run. But you want Aaron Rodgers out of that pocket if you're Minnesota. And as far as, like I said, again, Minnesota offensively, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Like I said, don't make Christian Ponder have to win the game for you, because that is a very risky option you're taking if you do that. But who knows? Christian Ponder may come and just blow us all away. I mean, I doubt it. No disrespect, but I doubt it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, though. That's pretty much it. And like I said, for the Green Bay defense, you want to make Christian Ponder win the game, throwing the ball by himself. So there it is. That's Minnesota and Green Bay. As far as a winner is concerned, again, this is a tough game. Y'all just don't understand. This is really tough. You know what? I'll say this. I give Minnesota a chance. I believe they can beat Green Bay at Green Bay. I know a lot of people will say I'm crazy for saying that. The people that comment on this video. And I even know a lot of the Green Bay fans will come at me and say that, I'm on something for saying that. But Minnesota's got a chance. Like, people need to, they need to give them a little bit more credit than, they're giving them. I think they've got a solid defense. Adrian Peterson's, having probably the best season he's had since probably 2009 when they went to the NFC Championship. So, yeah, but you know what? Being that Christian Ponder has struggled when the game's been on his shoulders, if it comes down to that situation, I really don't trust Christian Ponder there. So with that being said, I'm going to have to go with the more experienced team and the team that's got it done before. I mean, Green Bay knows what it's all about. Aaron Rodgers knows what it's all about. So, like I say, not taking nothing away from Minnesota. I'm giving them a chance. I believe they can beat Green Bay in Green Bay, especially after that last game. That really made it hard for me to decide. But I'm going to go with the more experienced team here. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I say that Aaron Rodgers, I'll say he doesn't. I'm not going to say Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for over 300 yards, but I'll say he's going to score a lot of touchdowns. He's going to have a lot of touchdowns. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll just put it like that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he went for over 300 in this game, but I'll just say Aaron Rodgers is gonna score early and often in this game. But so will Minnesota too, because like I said, Adrian Peterson is doing his thing in the run game. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay over Minnesota. I believe it'll be a close game, maybe by a field goal or a touchdown. So there you go. And then the game I'm sure that everybody is looking forward to on Saturday. This is going to be the first. I think this is going to be the first game of the day, one of the first games of the day. No, this is going to be on Sunday. I'm sorry. This is going to be on Sunday. Russell Wilson versus Robert Griffin III. The battle of the superstar rookies, as everybody's building it up to be, two potential Rookie of the Year candidates. Washington Redskins versus the Seattle Seahawks. I think this is an even matchup, if you ask me. It's really surprising that people are like kind of looking down on Washington, and Washington has been just as hot, if not hotter, than Seattle. Like, they've won 7 games in a row. They may have not put 50 points up on people in those games, but they've won games, and that's really all that matters in sports, is that you win games. But give the Seattle Seahawks credit. They have been hot for a little minute now. Russell Wilson is showing up and showing out. The defense is playing better and better every year. This probably might be, one of the best years they've had. So, yeah, this is gonna be this is gonna be an exciting game. The Washington crowd is gonna be charged. They're gonna be supercharged. It's gonna be a lot of raucous, a lot of extreme energy in that stadium. So yeah, man, I'm expecting a slugfest. I'm expecting an offensive, defensive slugfest in this game. Because, you got 2 young teams, 2 young quarterbacks. This is the game right here. This is the game right here. This is the game. No doubt about it. This is the game. But break it on down. Let's start off with Washington defensively. Now, another thing I forgot to mention is that this game is also going to be the battle of who can run their best version of the read option. Because we know that Robert Griffin and the Washington Redskin offense love to run the read option with a little bit, with some pistol in there too. And we know Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks have ran the read option offense very good as well. I'm personally not a fan of the read option because I think it's second rate. I think, college stuff stays in college and pro stuff stays in the pros. That's how I see it. When you come to the NFL, all that, comfortable stuff that, you're used to doing, you need to leave that alone. When you come to the NFL, you line up 3-4 receivers on the outside and maybe some tight ends in the middle or in the slot, and you snap that ball and you have your receivers go out and get the ball and score. That's what you call grown man football. That's just my opinion. All this read option and faking it off to the running back, and you don't know where the ball's coming from and all that. And yeah, it's a good offense to run, I guess, if you're a rookie, because I guess you don't want to put your rookie in any uncomfortable situation that he's not used to. But I'm like, this is what you signed on for. You know what I mean? But anyway, going on. The Washington Redskins, offensively, they're going to run that option. I think Robert Griffin needs to be a pocket passer in this game. I think he needs to not run, especially him coming off that injury, which we don't know if it's 100% healed or not. So with that being said, I think Robert Griffin needs to stay in the pocket and just be a passing quarterback for this game, at least until that knee is fully healed to where he can move around. Because I'm telling you, if Robert Griffin tries to go against the grain and run the ball himself a lot, he's going to get hit. And the Seattle Seahawks, like probably close to the 49ers, are probably one of the hardest hitting defenses in the NFL. So, yeah. Like I said, Robert Griffin needs to become a pocket passer in this game. He can still run that option. He can still run it. But I think he needs to. I think he just needs to stand in the pocket and just get the ball out to his receivers. That's what I believe. As far as the running the ball is concerned, I mean, keep doing what you're doing. Feed him and fan him. There's really nothing to say. I mean, they've got a good run game. Alfred Morris is having a career year. I think he's one of the top leaders in rushing this year, I think. I'm not sure. He probably might be. It surely seems like it, but, you never know. And plus, Washington is one of the top rushing teams in the NFL. But, it's going to kind of be hard to run the ball against Seattle because they have one of the top run defenses in the league. So I really don't know how they're going to be able. I don't know how they're going to game plan for that. Maybe they might try throwing screens or halfback tosses or throw some trickery in there to kind of confuse Seattle to make more holes open up for Morris. So I mean, you don't know. You really don't know. But I do anticipate them throwing the ball a lot. Washington, especially with Pierre Garçon back from I think he was injured, I believe that's why he was out. But now that they've got Pierre Garçon back, I do expect them to pass the ball a lot. So yeah. But it's going to be a tough task for Washington offensively because the Seattle defense is very, very stifling. They can stop the run. They're pretty good against the pass as well. So we'll see what Kyle Shanahan and Robert Griffin have designed to contend with that run defense of Seattle. So yeah, that's pretty much the Washington's offense side of things. Now, as far as the defense is concerned, I think, like I was saying about who was I talking about? I think Christian Ponder. Yeah, you've got to limit Russell Wilson's options. You got to limit his options. You can't allow him to run his version of the read option because he's going to get you. And Russell Wilson is pretty athletic himself, as is Robert Griffin. So you have to make Russell Wilson, like Robert Griffin, stay in the pocket and be a strict pocket passer in this game. You cannot allow him to make plays himself, running the ball. You got to limit his options. Got to limit his options. If I was the Redskins defense, I would probably want Russell Wilson to beat me in the air. I mean, yes, he's got a big arm. and he's put up some big numbers passing the ball. But I think, Washington's secondary has the secondary to stop the pass. I really think so. I really think Washington's secondary is good enough to stop the pass. Because they've got D'Angelo Hall, they got Joshua Wilson. I just heard they got Cedric Griffin back, so that'll be a big plus for them. So yeah, they've they've got a solid group. They got a solid group. So yeah, just limit Russell Wilson's options and make him beat you in one aspect of the game instead of having two or three different aspects that he can beat you with. But I think if the Redskins defense can do that, I think they'll be pretty successful. They'll be pretty successful. I mean, really, the Seattle defense is really nothing to be said. I mean, like I said, they can stop the run, they can defend the pass, so they hit hard. So I mean, you don't have to worry about that. So basically, for Seattle, just keep doing what you've been doing defensively.
Threat has been detected.
That's how I see that. But as far as who the winner of this game would be, wow. Well, you know what? While I'm not doubting Seattle, while I do think Seattle is more than capable of going up and beating Washington, I think Washington is going to win this game at home. You want me to tell you why? Because if Seattle is away from Seattle, they're a totally different team. Now, again, the playoffs are unpredictable. Anything could happen. Seattle could come up here and just straight wreck the Redskins at home. But I just got a feeling, man, like with the energy that's going to be going through that crowd, the energy that's going to fill that stadium, and it just seems like Washington is so hungry and they've been wanting to get back here for so long. I think they're going to be highly motivated and highly inspired to come out here and beat the Seattle Seahawks. Now, like I said, it's going to be a slugfest between both teams. I mean, it's going to go tooth and nail. We might get overtime in this game, and I wouldn't be mad if we did, because it's worth it. But yeah, I just think that Washington is motivated and they're inspired, and they're going to want to make this first impression of them getting back to the playoffs a good one. And I think the way Washington wins this game, I think Robert Griffin is just going to do something really spectacular, like make a impossible throw, and maybe Pierre Garçon might catch it in the end zone, or Alfred Morris will have that Marshawn Lynch-like moment where he's explosively runs the ball for like 80-something yards for a touchdown. I mean, something dramatic is going to happen in this game, because both of these quarterbacks, Wilson and Griffin, they bring the drama. They bring the drama. They're known for, taking your breath away in football games. So I just got a feeling, that offense is going to pull off something special, and people are not going to know what hit them. So that's how I see it. So I'm going to pick the Washington Redskins to beat the Seattle Seahawks, just because Seattle is not a very good road team. And in order to win in the playoffs and in the win in the Super Bowl, you got to do it on the road. So I'm going with the Washington Redskins. I say they win it, again, either by a field goal or by a touchdown. But you never know. We'll see. I mean, Seattle could come and pull off another San Francisco-like performance. You never know. But anyway, I'm out. Those are my predictions. Y'all enjoy the games. Two fingers.